Excuse my voice, by the way. I am recovering from a bout of some sort of laryngitis or something, so excuse the squealing. So welcome to this Book Club Independent webinar. On the call with me today, I have my colleague Lucy Browse, who will provide us with a brilliant walkthrough on Active Learn Primary shortly of Book Club Independence. This webinar is being recorded and it will be sent out to you in a follow-up email. So if you have joined us for any of our other product webinars recently, you will know that we have covered all of our ebook library products. That would be Book Club Reading Corner, Book Club Shared. We've had a rapid one. We've had Book Club Phonics. This is the last one in that series of webinars. We do have a website which has recordings of all of our webinars that we've had over the past few weeks on there. So we will send you the link to that website as a follow-up email as well. Okay, let's get started then. So Book Club Independence. So the session overview for today is around some pedagogy from me around Book Club Independence and how Book Club Independence can support you in developing reading fluency in your school. As I said, my colleague Lucy will then provide you with a walkthrough on Active Learn Primary of Book Club Independence, so you're getting the absolute very best from the product itself, and then just some next steps with regards to that follow-up email and so forth. So what is Book Club Independence? So it's a whole school solution to reading, and it covers pre-reception up to year 6. As I said, it's part of our ebook library, which covers Book Club Reading Corner, Book Club Shared, Book Club, what else do we have? Book Club Independence itself, and it's a whole school solution to reading. So please do have a look at those webinars if you get a chance. It's a blended approach to reading development with both print and ebooks as well, which is absolutely fantastic to be able to provide children with that blended approach, because research tells us that some children respond better to ebooks, for example. They find them more engaging. We know that some schools prefer to send print books home, and that they find that engages parents more and things. There's something for everybody in this product. The books themselves have inside cover notes in the front covers to help you and your children's parents know how to deepen understanding. There's also the fabulous online reading world to strengthen homeschool links and really engage your pupils, which we know is really, really important. Titles are written by diverse authors, a bit more about that later. We have within Book Club Independent those well-known and family favourite characters. There are teacher tools to really help with your planning, and the books themselves are relatable to all children, whatever their ability, background and identity. So there's something for everybody in Book Club Independent, and again, as I said, from a whole school approach. Excuse me. So you can see the screen grab there on the slide of a part of the component chart. We can also send you this in a follow-up email as well, which is really, really helpful to give you that kind of at a glance view of all of the different books within this brilliant product. So as I said before, the books cover from pre-reception to year 6. The books from year 2 into Key Stage 2 are book band colour coded. The books for reception and year 1 are in phonic phases from phase 1 to phase 5. They are 100% decodable with GPC coverage for each book and common exception and high frequency word coverage for each book. You will find that on the component chart as well as on the book jackets themselves. We have Disney books, a little bit more about that in a short while, which are super engaging for children. They're also fully decodable. We've also got the genres that are covered, which are fiction, non-fiction, plays, poetries, and comic books. Just a short note on the Disney books, sorry, in the fact that they're dyslexia friendly, which makes them even more appealing, with backgrounds to support visual disturbances. So you've got that engagement element, the fact that they are those very well-known characters and storylines from Disney films, which are so familiar to children, with the added bonus of them being dyslexia friendly as well. Also in the books, we have embedded activities to spark enthusiasm and to record progress. So as I said, we will send you a copy of that component chart, so you've got a complete overview of absolutely all of the books on offer within Book Club Independent. And of course, those book band colours as well are on that chart, as well as the phonic phases. So I mentioned exciting and popular characters. So as I said before, Book Club Independence is absolutely jam-packed full of engaging books with exciting and popular characters, including a wide selection of books based on popular films, and TV characters to encourage even the most reluctant readers. So the collection of books includes, as I mentioned, those Disney titles designed to support children with dyslexia, which, as I said, is as an added bonus. You've got that specially created font in those books, and the text is set on pastel coloured backgrounds. And you've got books based on films such as Disney Moana, Encanto, and many more. We've also got CBBS titles as well. Again, super engaging, particularly for those younger readers. So children can go on adventures with the Go-Jetters, Andy Day, and Doctor Who as well. And you can see some images there on the slide of some of those wonderful, engaging and motivating titles. In addition, we have representation from diversity and equality and inclusion. So we've got exciting and representative new characters in these books, created by a diverse range of authors and illustrators. We do have a dedicated webpage, which has, I've just screen grabbed actually onto this slide, all of the authors who have been included in the diversity, equality, and inclusion titles. You can see them there. Please do follow that link. We will also send you that in the follow-up email, where you can read more about the books that have been created by this diverse range of authors and illustrators, bringing reading to life and allowing all children to see themselves represented as they learn to read. And of course, from the DFE's reading framework, on that note, I'll just quote, engaging pupils in literature gives them access to all the things we can learn from great books and stories. They should read, listen to, and talk about contemporary classic writing by a broad and diverse range of authors, where the depth of ideas and language allows for rich discussion and study. All pupils should encounter characters, situations, and viewpoints that mirror their own lives, so they understand that they matter. Books, however, should also give them a window into the lives of others. For some pupils, stories might be the only place where they meet people whose social and cultural backgrounds and values differ from their own. And I think that quote from the reading framework is really, really relevant to this piece, where we have included titles across a breadth of diverse topics there. And you please do go and read more about those titles and those authors on that page. Okay, you may be interested in finding out about the levelling in Book Club Independent. So we have two different types of levelling going on here, as you can see on the slide. So for reception in year one, books are aligned to the phonics unit in the Bug Club phonics progression, and that is very closely aligned to the letters and sounds phonic progression as well. So whether or not you use Bug Club phonics as your SSP, if your SSP is very closely aligned to letters and sounds, then it is well worth exploring the Bug Club independent books at phases 1 to 5. If you are a Bug Club phonics user and you don't actually use Book Club Independent at the moment, then these are absolutely fantastic to top up your decodable book provision. So as I said, they're aligned to the phonics units in Book Club Phonics, progression, 100% decodable, and they're not aligned to book bands for reception in year one. And then from year two onwards, you can see at the bottom part of that slide, Book Club Independent books are graded into colour banded book band levels. And within each level, there is a carefully graded progression of books, giving children plenty of opportunity to develop their reading skills and master each step. They can be read in a progressive way, following the order suggested by the book bands. Some children might not need to read every book in every level, particularly if the texts are providing minimal challenge for them. The books are written and level to encourage children to read independently and to read for meaning. So reading at a level which is comfortable for their fluency level as well. And then, as you can see on the slide there, Book Club books for independent reading, which means that a child should be able to read a book at their comfortable fluency level, which I've just said. We've also got there what happens from year two onwards. As decoding becomes secure, the focus shifts to building stamina and fluency and deepening those comprehension skills. Word counts increase subtly as children progress, and as levels progress, the page extents, language complexity, sentence complexity, and vocabulary choice become more challenging. And these help children to maintain confidence by moving on in small and achievable steps. And then looking at the Key Stage 2 books, particularly, the stunning and highly original Book Club Independent books reflect the types of stories and texts that children love to read, whilst offering a fantastic range of materials to broaden their experiences. So we've got a wealth of different types of books in Book Club Independent, so they're not limited by any means. The books, as I said, have been carefully organised to ensure that at every book band level, children will have a variety of different books from which to choose. And here on the slide are some examples of the breadth of text types at year 3 and 4. So we have short stories. There are more than these, by the way, but these are just a selection. So the short stories introduce predictable plots and characters. We have novels introducing new characters, which is familiar to each book. The wonderful plays to read, which really support fluency in collaboration with renowned children's author Julia Donaldson. And also we have the stamina strand at Line Plus book band, which provides additional challenge, which are full-length novels that are carefully levelled, so that additional challenge for those children that need it. And then at year 5 and 6, similarly, we have just a selection here of the types of books that you will find. So we have comics and photo novels, which offer great appeal for visual learners or reluctant readers. We have, again, those plays to read, which are fantastic for fluency development and oracy development. We have the stamina strand again at Red Plus for that additional challenge for those children that need it. And at year 5 and 6 level, we have those classics. So engaging and inspiring introduction to some of the great literary classics. So well worth a look there. So moving on, we have also reporting on Active Learn Primary, and I'm sure Lucy will provide you with more insight into this in momentarily when I hand over for the Active Learn Primary walkthrough. So Book Club Independent, as you can see on the slide, there includes a useful reporting dashboard, which is brilliant. You'll be able to see at a glance the books your children have read and how they've performed in the quizzes within the book. And this brilliant vantage point enables you to gain an overview of your class, group or cohort, etc. We've also got Book Club Independent CPD, you can see on the slide there. The course covers how to engage children and develop confident readers, how to increase reading for pleasure and independent reading, how to ensure children make good progress, how to assess and report achievement, how to encourage parental engagement, all important, and that home reading, and how to navigate and use the ALP platform, including how to allocate books. And then finally from me, before I hand over, again, I've mentioned the reading framework once, but just to capture how Book Club Independent, where it sits with the reading framework guidance. So I'll just read from the slide. Once pupils can decode accurately and speedily, reading a lot is the principal way they develop as readers. So we hear about that reading miles. throughout the reading framework. Putting in the reading miles allows pupils to practice their reading, and that in essence is what Book Club Independent does. Building experience with increasingly complex texts, encountering new knowledge, gaining new language, including vocabulary, and developing their fluency. And then over the course of year 2 and into Key Stage 2, the focus of the teaching of reading therefore shifts from decoding, which we see earlier on in Book Club Independent, towards ensuring that pupils get this print experience and support with spoken language, both through teacher-led reading sessions and independent reading. So hopefully that captures everything about this product and gives you the reassurance that Book Club Independent actually addresses so much from the reading framework and actually addresses directly that reading a lot, the principle of reading miles. I'm now going to hand you over, hopefully, to Lucy or Ellie, I'm not sure who's there, who can provide you with a walkthrough of the product on Active Learn Primary.
Thanks, Nicola. And actually, yes, I'll be doing the walkthrough today. So let me just share my screen and we'll have a look at Active Learn Primary. Okay. Right, so if you just allow me to share, please, Nicola, and then I'll switch to that. Okay, here we go. All right. Right, so let's have a look at Book Club Independent within the Active Learn Primary platform. So on my demo account here, I've got all of the products, which you can see lots of icons here. So let's go into the Book Club one. So again, on my demo account, I've got all the different elements of Book Club, including the phonics here. So yours at your school might look a little bit different, but the independent always appears here under resources. So this is your independent reading ebook library. So within here, there's various ways that you can search because there are lots and lots of lovely books here to choose from. So the first one is book band. So for example, if we have a look at the turquoise A books, I can bring up the 14 titles under turquoise A. For each book, you've got some information here. So you've got a summary of what the book's about. You've got the book band, the recommended year group that this would be for, although obviously this is going to depend on your children as well. A phonics phase if there is one, and just showing this as an independent reading book. So open this up as a teacher. All the independent reading books have reading notes within the front cover for use, either children reading this at home with parents or in school. For the younger children, it has the read to me function, which you can switch on or off when you're allocating it. And all of the independent reading books have Book Club quizzes in. So this allows you to assess children's confidence and understanding of the text. So I'm not going to attempt that one. I'm just going to go back to the book. Okay, so let's close down the ebook. Close book. The little bug heads will show how many activities have been completed. So if a child was reading this book on their pupil world, as they complete those quizzes, the bug's eyes will close. Okay, so other things that you can do here are to allocate the book. So if this was one I wanted to allocate, just click the little box next to it, click the allocate box, choose my class, and then I can choose whether to allocate it to the whole class like this, or just an individual child. I can also choose whether to include the read to me audio option when I'm allocating it as well. And there's also something here to say that Active Learn Primary will prevent reallocations of previously set work. But if you want to switch that off because you want to allocate something again, you can also do that as well. So that's up to you. Let's just close that one down. Okay, so other ways that you can search through the books. There's reading recovery level. There is year group. So from reception up to year 6 or primary 7. Within the books as well, these left-hand menus help you to navigate in other ways. So for example, if you just want to find some poetry books, you can do that this way. And for your younger children, so reception and year 1, the books are organised by phonics phase. So I can click on phase 2, and I can even drill down to the detail of phonics sets as well. So for example, set 3, and that'll bring up books that practice those phonemes. So that can be used alongside your phonics teaching because these are fully decodable. Another way that you can search is by using this resource search at the top here. So this is nice if there's something in particular you're looking for. So for example, we've published a lot of beautiful Disney books recently. So I can find the Moana titles by searching for Moana, and then it'll bring up my couple of year 1 titles here. So you can do the same with Nemo, or Frozen, or any of the others as well. Also on this ebook library page, as well as all those books that we've just been looking at, you've also got teaching guidance here. So for each year group, there is a planning guide here to help you with your teaching your independent reading. Okay, all right, so that's the ebook library. Let's go back into the Bug Club tile. So we just looked at the actual books there under the independent tile, but there's some really useful tools here as well. So if we click on allocate book bands, and I'm going to go to year 1, this will, for my year 1 class here, it suggests which book band we'd expect the children to be at for the age that they are. So here, the suggested book band is Blue A. However, obviously through your teacher judgment, you might know that they're actually at a different level. And then it allows you, if you choose a particular child, to set their book band. So I'm going to choose Blue A for this child. And this also allows you to select whether you want to include the Read to Me audio option for the books as well. So that's for reception and Key Stage 1 children. And then set book band for 1 pupil. So that means that Active Learn Primary will feed her books all through Blue A. So there's actually 35 books there. Now, if you wanted to limit how many books Alina sees at once, so she doesn't get the full selection all in one go, click on her name and then use this feature, set book limit. So set book limit for 1 pupil. Gives you quite a few options. I'd suggest not setting it too low, so maybe 5 or so, if you do want to limit it, just because if you've got a Bug Club Phonics as well, any phonics games you allocate will also be included in this. So just make sure they see everything that you want them to see. Okay, so I'm going to set the book limit. And there's also some functionality for auto progress in here. That's all about allowing Active Learn Primary to feed them books from the next book band if they've completed the one they're on. It won't let them go too far ahead, but you might just want to use that if you want to save time. Okay, so that's the allocating. So then let's go into activity reporting. So this is where you can have a look at the reporting back from those quizzes in the book. So let's have a look at year 3. So here's your feedback on how the children have done, how many books they've read, and how many quizzes they've completed. So this first column here, number of books completed, it's quite useful to order that by the number, so that the children who've read the most are at the top. Again, there we go. So then you can see at a glance who's read lots of books and which children maybe need some encouragement to log on at home. And then for each child, you can then see number of quizzes in those books that they've completed and how many of those quizzes are at green, amber and red. So green quizzes are ones that they've been able to answer correctly on the first attempt. Amber, it means that it's taken 2 or 3 attempts to complete the quiz. And red, it means they haven't been able to complete the quiz. So you can also click on a child's name and see lots more detail on them specifically here. So this will give you information on every single book they've read. So for each book, we've got the book band it's at, and then here's the detailed information on the quizzes. So for each quiz, it's represented by one of these little circles. If you roll over it with the mouse, you can see what that quiz was assessing. So for example, this first one here was inference. And then you can see the traffic lighting on whether they've completed that on their first attempt, 2 or 3 attempts, or not been able to complete it at all, which would be red, like these ones further down. If a quiz shows as white, that just means they haven't attempted that one. So if they haven't done a quiz yet, then the book will still stay in their My Work section of the pupil world. It'll only move through to their library once they've completed all of the quizzes on it. Okay, right, so let's go back into the Bug Club icon. Okay, so we had a look at the ebook library, looked at allocate book bands, looked at activity reporting, and then the last thing I wanted to show you was what you've got in classroom support. So open this up and you'll see that actually within Bug Club, there are several different sections of classroom support. So if we click on the independent support, there's a few useful things I wanted to signpost in here. So if we click on the first heading, curriculum, there's some useful documents like matching book bands to year groups and also cross-curricular links for the Bug Club independent non-fiction books. So you can see how they might fit into other topics. Also matching to science. And then a new document here about levelling. So this gives some of the information that Nicola was just showing about how the books are levelled at reception in year 1 against phonics phases, and then from there onwards against book bands. So that just explains all of that for you. Okay. Just need to, sorry, excuse me. Trying to share, sorry, trying to close that particular screen. I've got a whole barrier at the top, so sorry about that. There we go. If I make this a bit smaller, apologies for this little hiccup. Sometimes the Zoom banner gets in the way when you're trying to. Right, so I'll just stop sharing a moment while I sort that out. Apologies, we're nearly finished.
Thanks, Ellie. Did you want to share anything else, or?
I think actually that's fine. Those are the main things I wanted to show in classroom support. So I'll hand back over to you, Nicola. Okay.
Thanks for that absolutely fantastic walkthrough. That was brilliant. And I think hopefully everybody can see the absolute wealth of different things that you can do with Book Club Independent on active learn primary. So filtering all of those wonderful books by phonic phase, by book band, the reporting, and all of that wonderful classroom support. So that was great. Thanks, Ellie. So that brings us to the end of this webinar. Hopefully that was helpful. As I said, we will be following up with an email to you with the recording and a couple of bits and bobs that I mentioned. So that component chart, for example, will be in that email, and get in touch if we can support you any further.